All right, abishia mame mamu akwaba. Emro ODIASEMPA TV. Musumfo ODIASEMPA ne. Twedi ampa bi kwan ne mienu ahwe ye wi me gidi se ho aye. Saa na menso odoma kuma adawroma nti me ho den. Abishia na nakwam bidi akọ state address no or address ye no. You be breaking it down. Ewo ya ankasa ye local language mu the amount. Medical wire where network in the enye but this time around ye China yahwe inti ye screaming a life inti overhand my message say obeshe na ye program no so ye be full lines no the atum na ebi awo advice bi ana say thought bi a na ya share ama Ghana fo nyina so ehwe ye no anya saa crew no the afa ho inti we say ne be ya ye ncha ho no message say obe invite afoforo ama omo abeka ho na yehina yenkyere yadwen emfa the address no na nakwa mbedi akobe address concerning abre okọ ne to no nti wo ba so amese so wo be share na fin so bebo love ne so ama afoforo aba abeka abusuakuo no eho.
It's been 2.5 months and I have visited 1,248 communities in Ghana. I have witnessed our problems, our struggles, and now it's time to address the real state of the nation. The real state of this nation has actually inspired me, motivated me, and has uplifted months. This country is going through makes me honor. I look forward to meet you virtually on Saturday from 7:30 p.m. to 9 this and to be achieved by the nation. Also, we will be launching a manifesto, and it's a national asset to the society we belong to. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Nti abusia ohwa na nakwa mbedi akwe ni introduction ana say jingle oye for na eye the state no address no oba be address no nti ochiro mo say first one no 12 pillars to economic freedom odeba say eno na oba odeba bebu oman no na abra okọ 276 constituency tour no enyema ahodo ohun ya no na o chere say ahye ne nkran na afei nso no ahye ne den na ma nanya ahoden bi say ewo se yehwe na yeman no yetumi de yeman no esiye ti we ne yade a yedikan ehun dada nti yebekọ into the program no ankasa no na afei yede ne breakdown no the abro.
It's been 2.5 months.
Abusia mpacho mo amwo so mo mehu se sound on eba o se be isu sound on na ye de aye interpretation it is a sound on eba Mr. Haya no mo mehu wai. All right, I'm going to put on that thing. Address no I know any breakdown.
Good evening, fellow citizens. I come to you this evening to present to you what I call the real state of the nation address. I know you have been waiting for this moment to sum up all that I have seen on my national campaign. Tonight, you have it.
Nti nana kwambedi akọ chere say ogidi se sisi a na yehina aye ready say ye twen no na ye tie suahunu okosua edi free abra okọ 276 tour no emu no na enwumre eno na ode aba opono ano no.
And I will be very forthright with you on the frustrations I have been met with during my tour over the 1,248 communities across Ghana. Let me give you a brief background about my motivations for my bid to rescue Ghana from economic slavery and crisis and set you on the path to your economic freedom. When I was 8 years old, life seemed very simple to me. My days revolved around waking up, going to school, coming back home, deciding what to eat, fixing my homework, and figuring out how to play with my friends. But as I grew older, reality began to set in. By the time I turned 9, I had started to realize something I hadn't noticed before. My single mother might be struggling financially. The clues were subtle but unmistakable. My classmates often had things I could only dream of, and for the first time, I understood that our circumstances were different.
Nti abushia ne nana kwambedi akokan normal thing na akwara bia wo sori a the only thing na wonim ne say wadwale wadidi wako school oba wa your homework and sometimes cry you move no about say valanda boys ne ade na ye cry the homework cry ya check it yetumi ba ne assign dey go on ade cha ne dey share bag mu ne assign e dey ako school and sometimes no e depend efi a obefri mu aba no Sefie no ebi ohon ma bom so namfofo no me use niema bi a during your time to say bibi to say bicycle na ye free bibi walkman na ye hands free bi a use sa cassette a ye twemu ahoma bi na di hye ya so bom so namfofo ewo bi a na anka woyemu a anka wo bi na so efi a wo free mu ye den ekonya sa de we so no ukọ namfofo bi no efi a eyade a ye de ema omo simple eno ne ade a nana kwambedi akwa address inti with the experience or gather from the tour no or call you no and thrown back to nyama bia na owo mu emra na wusa na one ne maame na onshada enibi ena na etie no eho asem ena okan for now
different. Our families do a good job of sheltering children from difficulties. I didn't realize back then. But little did I know that every year I would encounter new challenges that required solutions. Each problem I faced became an opportunity to learn. And it started to shape me through experience. I see these experiences as the foundation of wisdom. Wisdom that only grows when reflect on our past. Now, I understand that problems are natural. It's a part of life. And solutions are what propel us forward into maturity. By embracing these two principles, acknowledging problems and seeking solutions, I have continued to grow, using each challenge as building block for personal development.
Inti abushia sasem we na kwambedi akwa kan ade ba kwa miankasa. In fact, my gather so many experience from ade ba kwa say ye so say so far as ye nipa ne de we ye ne den a problem no kan ye ho kwan bia no we betumi aka say ye nipa no problem emma ya kwan mu but ade ba kwa ha ye Ghana for ne say anytime bia no problem ne ba ne betumi aye ne say complain but ye find the solution but problem ankasa ade ma hu e wo problem ho ne say problem ba na at that moment ne de enya den a wo ye nipa e be we wo down but say o gather courage na o find the solution na e pave a bigger way at the mount and ntina aya ye ka bibi say o continue etna o comfort zone a wan kasa no untumi enyini ohum enti say daily no problem no eba no sa problem no prepare you to another level but the only thing I yen betumi ayen say ye complain especially oba yen Ghana ha no ma yenua ma no kra de ni obetumi aya ne say e wo say otena ase na wosun obesun and at the end no there's no other solution and because of obe complain na on find the solution no and no kra be say so e another issue and e dey
using each challenge as building block for personal development. This gives us a chance to create our paths. I didn't know exactly where I was headed, But I began to notice that my thoughts were no longer just about myself. They often extended to the people around me. I saw this clearly when I realized my mom couldn't afford what other mothers could. This realization pushed me to think deeply. And over time, thinking became more than just a habit. It became a discipline. It transformed me from being merely a talkative to what I know now or call thinkative. Tonight, I stand before you addressing a nation I'm part of, rooted in the soil that shaped me. This is the land I come from, the land I will live for, and whether I like it or not, the land I will one day die for. It is here at this moment.
Abusia sa ana legend anase enkofo epese elivi legendary na ankasa no sa ana omusi edwen. There's one particular video bi na mehwe from John Dramani Mahama speech, and the speech mu no o address Ghanaians eji ne ho eyeden e di efremu, but na kwa me bedi akọ address o address no e na o ka cho say abre okọ na probo no niema ohun wo oman no mu. Of course oye ye kan say asase no ono ankasa efremu bi aha oye den opa onya sika empempem say den asase emu ena ofri na saa asase mu ena obeye den obewu ye besie no nti ono ankasa no efri asase no mu dia na wo so obo ne homode na oye asase ni ye the same thing na Ibrahim Traore enso address ne nkofo a oka say omo ye den a Burkina eye omo asase nti no se ada se omo bewu so ombe den no e wo se omo ye na omo ye ema ne ye se ne be ya asase no eye omo ankasa de enye obi de ba bibia so ni ho mbetumi akwa aye omo bibia mo na ye nti ya asase nti oman Ghana eye dia eye ya eye mai ese mai nti etwa se ye hina ye boy ho mode ne ye de ho ye ho jim na ye ma oman no efa nimpeja ba.
That I aim to describe and define the true state of the nation, the reality of the place we call home. The people have shaped me, and the people I strive to shape. These are the ones I stand before today. These are my people, the ones who define me as much as I hope to define them. What brought me here? Was it the path of a worker, an entrepreneur, or a leader, or perhaps an industrialist or an economist? What truly brought me here is life. Life with all its challenges and lessons has been my guide. And over time, I have grown not just into a man, but also into a father, a husband, and ultimately a leader. I've come to realize that my responsibilities extend far beyond the shelter where I was raised. They transcend into the nation I call home. This understanding has me, or maybe I don't merely have a job, but it has shown me true understanding that my job
Nti abushia utie nana kwambedi akọ ensem okana hu se Elvis Asante atro say I am in Canada now and I will support him anyways. You see, sometimes make us say enye ono na ye support no. Well, Canada bia wo enhwe hono ba de ba ko say ye hye ne so ne say ye boy ankasa ye ho. Eno ne ade abrani abrebia mihia nkofo wa abonten a me ka kire mo na me koto aba de ama no. Wa me t-shirt ni bia ye nto ma no. Me ma wo ya we say enye ono na wo to aba no de ama no. Wo to de ama wo ho. Canada anase mo wa ma no ne in fact bebre na abo omo ho moden. Ewum to say ne average Ghanaian mentality no still bi mu wa ma no ne that so did this MPP NDC echi and ebi mu so ebo omo ho moden say be support so ne be ya oman no betumi afa ne ntoma pa de afra eye yankasa ne ye amaye ho ebi awo ho no kra ho to day in and day out abusuafo atwi phone a little problem kra wonim san kom betumi asolve no na je say the phone den efrew ansa na watumi ama ne bibi de afri ehonum na wo de aba meanwhile no sanka ya de a yen hyehye egu akwamu na sefata kra na anka hu nya se nipa ne befro because the weather condition CCR time ya ye womi ye nuanu bebre wa amanone bra omo bre because the weather condition no and no system no enye pe won nti anka ye ti he and the ban say the daily and say basic necessity no yen saka anka den biem nka no an say wo hwe no wanya ode kakra di watumi akọ adwuma aba na onya bi hwe abusua na anka obibi akwa ni hwan ma obetu kwan na even kwa ye nuanu ma wa amanone kra no bebre na akwa nya kra anka obeyeden obeba nti na nakwa mbedi akonsem a wokan ina ne se ohwe bebia waba beduru a obisa na ho se eye ne real estate development na wo ye no na ama na beduru a ana se as economist ana se name it say ye beka se odefo bia ewo no eno na ede na beduru sa stage we anan na ono de ohun se dabi enye sa nemom eye wiasimo abrabo emu ekukura hwe ase ne sori na apagya na build na bedru sa abre ya ama na beye bema mu a na owo ma na fi owo yere na asan ama na beye den abeye leader eno na ne den abedru sa abre
job, but he has shown me true understanding that my job is that I have a vision. I have a mission to redeem a nation that I belong to uplift the people I live among, and to rebuild a country that has stumbled and struggled to develop. Fellow citizens, join me as we reflect on the just ended 276 constituency tour, a journey that has exposed to me the real state of our nation, the struggles, the pollution, the pain, the agony, the deprivation, and the reasons why our economy has never been built. I first of all would like to start with the philanthropical works that we did.
Nti abushia na nakwa mbedi akweche se ne yenka ne ho na to no a okoye no enema okohuye a enu nti ema oman no entumi entumpon eba ne se pollution ye water pollution ya se yensuo nyina ene ohia a adokoro oman no a owuram a ye kokohuye no yenka ne ho ne yehina yenkonkohwe ne ekoso no ene yehina yenim se na nakwa mbedi akwa eyo obi a oye philanthropist ye kan obi oye philanthropist a obi a eba ne se adoye yemfa ne se ahafo omuhia borehole eba ne se hospitals and yehina yenim especially akoye northern part no ene de ye kan say votarians no aside ho no na enema hodo bebre me da bia me kasa me san kronkro ni ade ma rewura ho no mi na ntimi nim se ne enema esia de ekoso efa ewo ho no eba ne se nsuo ukoto nsuo a yenuanum bi enom kra na mobo ene hospitals ahodo a yenuanum eda and schools ahodo ne ade ye nyina ye hu bi but e media na nkasa ya ade bi a omo nsho sa na ema we ama enkofo enhu enye sankranka ye word some politicians bi a nti na ama me mabie ma no aka se ba omia pa se me de doctor ebeso nidin bi mpa de lalai ene na metwa video bi ma no from ekoka Dr. Mahmood ba omia me delete video ni na my edit tempo me delete ni nyina because se oyo obi a odwe nipa ho wo na ohwe enema bi nti na Lucky Dube ka say what type of rich man are you who doesn't care about the poor people ufro won say we sika ni ba eba ne say hiafo a on check omo eba ne say obi a oyemoba a on check omo a na ufro hu sika ni ede ni sika ni nti ohwe nkofo bi ho no omo speech there's one man video bi a the life dey finish start we starting into no ni video bi a wo hu na or describe no ho as or the four ya bosika ni bi pa din o se o we crowd or your poor person enye se e bi a sika anase ahonya di anipa no wo no ena ma ye frɛ no the four nemom ne impact a owo ema society no eno ena me ye frɛ nipa no se or the four na to be honest with you say uyo obi a wo ho woye adoye ma afoforo na se afoforo appreciate a abrani abrebia no wankasa no enije a ehye wakoma mu no esen se uwo sika bebre special yemfa no se me mitu me hu si wonum se me ye adwuma we eri amana na kwa me bedi akoy enkofo frɛ me nkranhye in fact obaade nhiraw nyame nhiraw eno krampo no eya de kese e de ma me na eba sa kra na ema minya enije bi wo makoma mu se me nso kra me nya positive impact e wo nipa so but eba ne se anka sika so a anka ne de me ni bi but ema me hu me ho se me ye odefo nti abusha yento ase ne yentie na nakwa mbedi akọ abra okoye ne okohu ye no na yefa ho translation no ne yentie aye we ni say ye nuanum bi especially me nua baba akọ owo I think say Holland or so da bia wo fra o say na nakwa mbedi akọ openasem nanso abrofo sem no eye na nakwa mbedi akọ de too much enye se de na ye no won say oman na ye wo mu no anka anye ye no wo say yetumi nya one common language a ye kire e wo ye school mu a eno de ya tena ase agye atumu se saa kasa we de se wo ye frafrani wo ye walwale ni se wo ye dagomba ni se wo ye nzimani se wo ye asante ni se wo ye bunu ni se wo ye den ye be kire no wo krasa ebema atumi breaki saa barrier no ye kan say language barrier no a eda ye ntem no se ne be betumi move freely e wo ye ankasa ye mamu a ye ho enkere ye na nke yatumi kra a standing so kra e de akọ the whole Africa so a ye benya common language but ni na ye hina visionary leader and ebe ye nso a e wo se ye hina so ye dey ye bo ho dero
with the philanthropic works that we did. As I went on a tour, I was moved to help alleviate the sufferings of the people by helping them beginning economic ventures such as crop farming, sheep farming or rearing, fish farming. I did some guinea fowl farming too, boreholes for potable drinking water. Ghana, this was hard to behold, the sorry state of our country. Now I realized that in our political world, we normally pay people so they can vote for us. We normally invest in ourselves, in our political parties, and not in the people. This leads the people into corruption. I thought that I could change the political narrative by using the 276 constituency tour to actually harness the people and the way they live and bring their hope back. So I invested the money that I will use for most of the billboards and flags and so many other things and paying people to pay to vote for me rather into the people. And we ended up giving bicycles. We ended up giving families farms, sheep farming, so they can start creating their own business. You know, we did a lot of fish farming in Adan. Was very interesting to see that 2,000 fishes can become 100,000 one day for people.
I wish we and your friend of real leadership. And Sankaya, these politicians no cry ish. See, young fan say yes, Omuina a campaign. And the campaign, the impact, the influence no ewo nipa no so no ene ne wo he. Na nakwa mbedi akọ chere say wo hwa billboard akese medical akra chere obi. Rama ahaya okwa hwa billboard abawumia ya mount ediasi Rama for omo junction so and a free sa junction so ekọ ba bia Rama sa rehabilitation center no ewo no ho. Onante akoduru no ma enduru 1 minute ubeduru. Omo nsuo omo den yo bibia aye basa me post this video no ka say ubia na eka wakoma so obekwa koye omadoye no obekọ ehonum na wakọ akoboa because we na eboa ema society no etumi etu empon en na kwa mbedi akọ kire say ono no okoye inside so obe mount billboard akese obe print ne ma ahodo de atale kroma ye kromu fin no sa sika no anasa anko obekọ akọma musika say monje na monfa nto aba ema me no we na kwa mbedi akọ aye no ebetena ho atena ho na se ankodi abusuabone anase ensabone mu a ebetena from generation to generation to generation kwa ombeka se abrantie bi ba emre bi se anko pese oba ebedi oman no anim na bra okọ aprobo na obepie ha no na oye se abusua we monji nwanko we monyan na se monyan odwan no na dọọso a me bakra mesan ade abebọ ho biem ade amamo ebi kwa yen kan se wantumi amba biem na so ne ode maaye no na ya multiply amasisi ano aye abusua ajapade kese abusua ma menka samba ko nchrohwe okọ Botswana wo one of the universities are the maya ekotwa ya o kire se omo ho de ka se free education a free enye te se ya anom de bia ye de ye politics no wo okọ according to story no kire se according to story no kire se abre na ehonum omunni hwe no abusuano a omunye nantwie no we de ne nantwie baako ba na we de ne de baako ba na we de ne de baako ba na omoton na omunye bi eno true eno na ma omudi si sa university no enti ohwe omo board no so a ubewu se omo asi ye ka ne sen ohwe omo board no so ubewu se ya tro sa musuani nyina edin ewo so en sa de no akoso aso hinia aba bedru sa bre ya but wana me ne wo ka say oko school we started from kindergarten free enya ye de ya ye de build political party be enya nation no ya man a solid foundation and we atumi anyinia ma ukodru university kura na ye tua woka enso yen ya ha university sika wo betua no even free SHS ye omo kan kura no eka a ewom na nse amre me wo fa se ba ko kasa o tua computer fee o tua one fee e won zema school wonum I think say anoje o tua sa computer fee any fee ahodo a wo tua nyina na also the pressure go me so ama me send this size can ede man inti sadie we anana kwa mbedi ako aye na nkasa na eya ade a eye great impact ena wanya ode ama society no inti okoye no eba nse guinea fowl wabie ne farm ede ama musu omo select musu akuo bi ni wabie bi de ama omo hia boho ni wabie bi de ama omo eba nse fish farm ni wabie bi de ama omo efe orange farm avocado mi ankasa mi ko hu bi kra wo mi amenzem mi kuro monzama a eye anche nyini ehonu mu nyina no o commission farm no commission a o ma ye do ba bi kaka hu asase ne da ho kaka ni ado ba bi kaka ni a commission na afi no de ahyankofo sa na o mo ato aso sade e be ya e bia afesese anase afebiem no obeba no na chese afuo no aye kakaka eno ebeboa enkofo a ewo within that community no ama in fact omanya ye kan say ensanu dwuma na if possible kra betumi aba say ye mie pe factory because pay ye de pay ye nku ye de ye oil ene niam ahodo bebre e ba ne se anka nso a ye de anu so ye niam ahodo bebre e wo ho no we ene ye friend leadership ena we so ne ade anka wo se ye media no omo ho dawro enso abro ne ba yi nti because on fasika emfa mbre omo nka media ni bi nso wo ho no ma they are for the political parties in nti no obeka eniam a efa ne party enkwa enho enye sa nso na e wo se ekono ODIASEMPA TV ya starting ni say your network na enye ene ye man try in fact you start your program live program amanyoku obi a obeba oya adepa ye beka oya boni a ye beka eno so ni ade a ye de eye echekere oman
for people to live on. You know, we did coconut farming, we did avocado, a lot of things, but that was because of the situation of this country. Out of the 276 constituencies, I was surprised, and I'm about to share with you that I have seen what a lot haven't seen. Let me now lead you into some of the challenges, the opportunities I saw in some of the regions too. Let me start from Eastern. I left Accra, and the first region was Eastern, where my tour really began. I visited Nsawam at Duajiri constituency, and that's where I found a village called Opari Krom. That was where I met my new friend, George, an 80-year-old blind man who have, or should I say, visibly impaired, pardon me, who lived in this particular home for 65 years without electricity. He actually attended the same school, primary school, with the late Jerry John Rawlings, our president. May he so rest in peace. Right there, the level of social inequality became apparent to me. In the Eastern region, I found the potential of the Afram Plains as a place capable of feeding the entire continent of Africa. Meanwhile, the people of Afram Plains, north and south, live in an abject poverty with close to no hope of prosperity. I always believe that if we turn each region around, like we said in our 12 pillars, each region will contribute to the success of our economy. So for me, Eastern region, where you have Kwawu, you have Koforidia, you have Diamond, you have all of this, but the people are jobless, was my first warning in a tour. But I was yet to wait to see more of what is going to happen. Now, moving to Ashanti region was
nti abusha ana na kwambe dia ko okan o start ne tour no eastern region na okoshia apenyin bi I think say ye hina ye hu video no na papa no nani afra, and according to the story papa ne classmate ene kane mampenyin JJ Lawrence wanya ni baby den eko Gladys kese me mo akwa ba papa no omampenyin JJ Lawrence wanya ni baby eko ne classmate eno na kwambe dia ko chere we ema wo hu se society no ban say yen Africa and as Ghana your community na ankasa na enye fair, because anka such a person on Mampenyin Lawrence and Alco school na akodri stage say na ohwe papa ne tena bia mobo and ohwe saa bia na kwambe dia ko ka ho asema na nisu ade hunu mu as a leader no ohun say even the affirm praise saa nhwie kwampo no ebetumi asesa that entire praise no amana ye na so ohwe a ehonom no ohia na adokurukuru na even enkofo a ewo ho no hope bia ankasa enni ho emfa momo, and no kran so mako bi netumi etena search community mu etumi emeki dodo na no ehu no kra sese obetumi ameki a gise o move around adase okọ Accra anase Kumasi anase Takrade, nti eba ne sa na ema those community no echoki nti we je ema leader owo enisuade hunu te se na kwa mebedi ako na watumi ama saa bia develop na obi te wokra wa hu se da bi mimi tu kwan konkan ya emfaso ni so aya sometimes na bi mo make statement bi say obi am person obekọ into farming, obi a person okọ Accra na ko bobra this 21st century se na wiase esi ekọ no efa no farming ya ade a emabunu bebre na nkasa eni beje ho a je se aban na nkasa ebam saa sika ahodo a yedi import emo, yedi import aburo, yedi import anka, yedi import niema no anka yamfa saa sika no emfa nhye yeku adwumanim na fe no yemmo method anase ye educate omo how to preserve those food no eno ebeboa ama yankasa yenuane a yedua no yebetumi a distribute no across the country na eno no kra be hye yenkura ama ya ye ne more yebetumi a export bi na eno no betumi a boost ye economy. But here's the case ye nya leaders omo dwen sa hwe sika ayi bawomia ene napo ene cha wuntumi eche ewo ye can say adum chedua asole dem and saa sika we betumi ebie company ebetumi employ nkofo ahodo bebre, and the same thing enso na mahama enso ekoi okoye no ehonum by no krade ye beba so echire nti yanto aso na kwa bedi ako
ne to. After I left the eastern, I went to Ashanti region and Bono region. Ashanti region is by far maybe I stand to be corrected, the region with the most constituencies, meaning that it could be the biggest region, if I'm correct. And it has a lot of potential. In farming, in mining, Ashanti region is worth billions of dollars. But we saw a lot of poverty within the regions. And you can see the development in Ashanti region. I thought that without industrialization, without helping these people to know what cocoa can do, it's going to be very difficult for them to be built again as a constituency becoming a state or a mini city to feed their people. I also saw a lot of potential, enormous potential avenues. I mean, River Pra and Tano, it's some of the biggest rivers in this country. I know you remember when I say I'm going to bring the sea to Kumasi. Well, that's exactly where it has to come from. You know, bringing it from Pra is already into the sea, so it's a matter of dredging it and letting it go into Kumasi and letting the sea come in there. But not for just leisure. It will be for logistics. It will be for irrigation. It will be for a lot of things. This will position the regions to control a third of projected 4.7 trillion economic output.
Nti abushia yeyin na yenim ye network system say na city time na na kwa mbedi akwa address na network no ajame nti sa na video no mu so no etie nti no na kwa mbedi akwa ka Ashanti region ho asem and over Ashanti region in fact a rich area and according to onu na bia wodem because or her constituency no Ashanti region ewo constituency ahodo bebre nti na betumi aba say then eno ne the largest ye can say community and as a region ewo Ghana and no no say onye sure into no he stand to be collected area say mistake be and oye there then he stand to be corrected and ohwe ban said dredging ho asema ade a ehia na nakwa mbedi ako eyie enti na okọ voter no hu ne and we see say there be ameka say wo de wadwen edi niam bi achi na hu ne nipa na e kana wo say ampanso ne nipa na e kan no ade eda na akoma so na ampanso ebeboaye yo hwe ba bi okogina ye ya na wo chere say natural place ya ye na wo say ye ndwen enso ye ntumi ndwen ya enwan e na edwen ye ko America ye ko enkofo kuru ahodo so a oma ye saade we en aside say ebia ebeboa omokra ama omanya ebeboa omo ama omanya ye kan say omo economy na nkasa boost because dredging no e na wo ka say enye say bia ye de be have fun and say yinemum ebeboa eba ne say irrigation into irrigation no enye no ne say ebia awia time yesi yentumi ndua ntos yentumi ndua moko yentumi ndua enua nyadoa ye be connect sa na ma ni nyina enti eba ne say irrigation a time bia yedua ntos yedua moko yedua jene yedua aburo ye ni season na ebe ka say season we de yenua aduane yedua enuane ahodo enyina ede ema ne yeyi na efe nso no tese ebe boa ye wonyema ahodo bebre so eba ne say transportation ebema water transportation ay easy ye kwan ahodo atwoki no eso bete nti ebetumi aba say bia ban say timber enema akese ahodo yina no ebetumi afa yensuo so na ayede ede aba
nation. Also, we will be launching a manifesto.
How about Galamsey? Idea no eso. Yani ewie program na ebebie lines na tum na obibia nso adwenkyere owo efa abato eba no ehun so no na ode ato edwa amae. That's someone share na mo like mu invite afofro so na amomra emeka ho.
Dear country men and women, to protect the perpetrator and the entire nation as a whole. Dear citizens, we have an emergency. This has led me to overcome the situation. I may now present to you the Galamsey Manifesto. For me, I see yesterday's problem becoming tomorrow's opportunity. In the 60s, Lee Kuan Yew, and that changed the entire Singapore. He was the first prime minister in 1959, just around the same time as Kwame Nkrumah. They all started to in the world. And it all came from the Singapore Enterprise Industrial Team, developing the entire nation. I have a vision, and this vision to turn Ghana, very proud to their manifesto, to a national asset, not just the inside information, the solutions, to do what Lee Kuan Yew did for his people and for his community, and letting that become my vision. Better, we deserve more, and many other continents on this planet Earth. By introducing the people that caused the problem and how the problem was caused. They said the only way to have the best solution for and realize that the imperialists, who are the international, the imperialists, and then coming down from the imperialists is the cartel. The cartel is the government, who are taking royalties from being the landowner. And when you move down from the cartels, you go down to the mafias. The mafias are the galamseys. I just want to explain to Ghanaians that these local galamseys kingpins are using cyanide and mercury to wash the sand. I want to just wait on this part a bit, that the three things I've mentioned, the imperialist, and then the cartels, and the mafias. The imperialists are the ones controlling the hard rock mining. The cartels are the ones controlling the colluvial mining. So that is the politicians and the chieftaincies. And the mafias are the basic Ghanaians who did not get any job and started to do alluvial mining within all these constituencies. This mafia state is undissolvable unless we apply this plan, which is in this manifesto. So there are three types of mining. You have the hard rock mining, which comes from upstream mining. And then you have the colluvial mining, which comes from midstream.
Inti abusha ahado na nakwambedi akọ chiremu se galamsey no ne kono a ekoso a yede sinus hokoro ede se yasase ne nyina every imperialist ye kan imperialist for na western influence for no omo ba then omo be control omo no omo ye eba say hard rock mining any ade enti eba ne se ye kan say obuasi goldfish eba ne se okọ me mikromo no ho Adamus any other gold mining na omo wo ye areas nyina no emu ba kokra eni ho a eye oman Ghana edia omo efri no ho ene eba na omo abeje and omo beje nso a eye o say those cartels no ene ya henfo ne ye politicians omo ba then the claim say asase no eye omo dia into omo dia na ache say omo je omo share a omo pa they don't think about citizen no aka no the only thing omo be so omo agiska no omo de agu omo into omo betutu ne sa na awie no then na aka the average Ghanaians na yankasa ye ni hwe eye ye be kwakoye ye ho poto ebi okra na omo di ni nyina ayede awie na ye mum ye de aboye ho kakra ye benya no na chese ye de enso ekona ekoba so na se ye nchi anase ye nka ho asama eye sa enkola ya ono ankasa ontumi afford ento excavator ene ade no omo ene ye de sombo no ebo omo enso na mafias na ankasa no ewo ho eni na sombo omo de bom na just for political gain or the person me de me nkoche galamsey ni anasa me che galamsey ni ayese me fight galamsey inti aban se alovia ni ade no kra na alovia no kra na omo kan no kra still politicians here because alovia omo no moto excavators issue sa board ke se na omo de excavator no etu ade no gusu na omo de insuo no wash de pollutu insuo no inti aban se those mafias na na kwambidi akọ eyisu na enkwala no kra omo de no ebi okọ omo di awie no aka ase no ena omo ankasa ecosi board na omo so awash se ebi ase kakra na aka no omo benya bi ayede ede aka ho enti we no ade a those mafias no ena en na kwambidi akọ te na medika eka kire ono no of find any problem bia na was onya solution to eno ne ade adabia ne de bia me ka kire se yensua sa ne man enfri na kwambedi akọ me sha se me di na kwambedi akọ echi no me hwe ne ma ahodo bebre anytime be a problem be a beba no you find the problem now because it is saying say who face problem na utumi identify say aha and a problem no every bar almost 60% to 70% of the problem no is solved nya can say all the action ebeshem nti obema solution So onya akonya na, and I think say emu no kra wa address say even on train so omenya akonya no say wanya akonya no kra na say opportunity ne ba e wo so oye no ode ema ne man e wo say we kra to me ka bibi kira Ghana for say there bi nipa yi a ye ne edi insawo so yi enye te say the other politicians no nemom o adwempa e wa akomapa e de ma oman no nti solution no a ode eba
mining. And then you have the colluvial mining, which comes from midstream. Then you have the alluvial mining, which comes from low stream. I would like to say that these three things is just like how we take oil from the water as crude oil, and then we refine it in a refinery as refinery process, and then bring it to low oil market companies to sell the fuel. That's the same thing that is happening in the mining world, but this time it's destroying our country because of the process. So I know what I'm saying is it's not going to be likely for people, but this manifesto is the only thing that will save this nation, because I can see the opportunity, the vision of Ghana becoming the star of Africa, the powerhouse, if we can go into hard rock mining ourselves and start to create reserves. If we can go into colluvial ourselves and alluvial. So that brings me to a solution, and it's called, the solution will be based on investment and development. Well, I'd like to start by an investment that I have as a vision for the country, which is water purification. This water purification, all our water bodies in this country, completely destroyed. Now, the water purification, together with the plants of recycling, will cost us 4.5 billion to purify all the water. And if we don't, we are destroying the lands. We are turning all the lands that we grow our crops on into a poisonous land. Very soon, we will not be able to have water in this country, and we will have problems in crop farming because the land has begun to be destroyed and is moving very fast, rapid. Now, if you look at the numbers I was just showing you, 4.5 billion, and the returns of this investment in 10 years is going to give us 32.1 billion, which is 200 tons of gold. Up to date, Ghana, we still don't have that gold in our reserves. We had 7 point something tons, and recently they said a few has been added. Whether over 10, I'm yet to find out. But 200 tons secures you 32 point something billion sitting as our reserves in 10 years, just by this investment. But there is more to this investment that is coming. We are going to use this investment as purifying the water with extra plants. Guys, I think you have the plants, so if you can show the plants. The plants, I would like the plants are here. So these plants are going to do three things. It's going to take the water, it's going to purify the water, and then it's going to extract the poison out of it, which is cyanide and mercury. But here's an interesting thing that we found. We did the research and realized that once you are able to extract the cyanide, you can turn it to ammonia. Ammonia means you're going into the process of urea. And urea is fertilizer. Currently, we import fertilizers for all farmers. This could be one of our biggest opportunity in lifetime, because now the one problem that we had has come to solve all the problems. Now we're taking the cyanide and the mercury and processing it with some sodium and turning it into fertilizers. not only would have the purified water gone back into the grounds by building the biggest irrigation system that will harness our agriculture and make us become the number one food producers in Africa with all our water bodies. This vision, it took Galamsey's problem for us to discover this opportunity. As I'm saying today, we will turn this around and Ghana will have the most jobs because the recycling plant will be the beginning of our industrial power and our scientific research to find out what we can use anything in Ghana to do, from the plastic on the floor to the clay and to the poison in the water. And not to forget this same water.
Abusha he me won de bia me kase nana kwambedi akon mitie nana kwambedi akon na mehwe oman no nkofo bia yegumu a wo ho me se nana kwambedi akon em se agro bi na odi e bia won temase ni enti amekasa agro bi na odi ne se timamufuo no ensem we anana kwambedi akon e kan no eye omani so se sini bi e na yeji na nye reality hwe asem we research we anana kwambedi akon aye na all kind of ra no ho bawomia o de bawomia besi wo o pa kire bawomia sa de we be 1 month obejira wo na okana no bepo the same thing na mahama ejina akwahwe nkokọ asem ka awoka okana na no fom na ye de ye bramo kokọ buo ni abramo nkokọ mma na ye de ya mamo nkokọ aduane amamato nkokọ aduane. With such research and now all culture will say eno no ohwe won say obi a opese oye better leader no ohwe enkofo bi a aba wadi ka akwa kasa asem no omo past mistakes na odi acorrect no ho na afi ohwe omo achievement na ono so I improve inti ochrew I think say Korea or say Singapore, I stand to be corrected, omo nsuo a omo poverty ye na omo import nsuo then afi omo dwen won say there be enkosi emprado do say na betumi aye saa de we na no no ebeboa omo momutumi ye purification afi omo ani ba omo ho so kwa no na afi omo mom na omo ye den export nsuo and uhwe with the solution nana kwambedi ako ede to from concerning yensuo ya say no with cyanide any other chemicals eba se ye purification na ye betumi extract with other chemicals ni yetumi produce ya ankasa ye fertilizer no ye investment ye bedi kan edisika ashem because business bia eni hono ma wo ya wo amfa sika anshem wo betumi aye and odisika ne shemu a o returns no ebe double sika na wo aye de wo de ashemu no enti se yesu se yesu ase yes ya nhwe ne ya resolve a yes ya sase no nemum ye nya visionary leader te so ono na kwambedi ako na yes ye beye purification na sika ye de be shemu no sika ne mpie mra no na aba be times 3 anase be times 4 and eno no so kwa betumi aboaye ama eba ne say ye agriculture ne ade na the best thing because in the process of purification no be boaye ama eba ne say irrigation systems ne ade na eni nyina so no ebe ye adwuma ene ye dredge ni na kwambedi ako ka ho asam da bia no memeka say eniema say na kwambedi ako ejina na wo ka enya Ghana fo nkwa na ye hwe abrofo monitor hwe bi and omotena ase om say hey akwa make sense nso ne kromfo say we dey ensemhunu na omoka because utumi ni obi di nkomo na otumi abisa say na kwambedi ako na no nyansa asembe na oka and sa nipa no in fact me ankasa madam for pa me respect na me expect sa ansem ni bi etumi free na no say even Mahama make sense say na kwambedi ako in the actual sense no o de Bawumia manifesto o de Mahama de ebom ene omo maka nyina na mihu percentage ubetumi e dey compare ne na kwambedi ako asam okan ebe yepe o de tie ensem we kra na okan research any ade a wayi nkɔfo a stand for front barrier o ka kyerɛ obi sɛ o megyina koraa na yɛatwa man koraa na on lecture ɛwɔ saa deɛ wei ho koraa na no bɛ fomfom ɛno no ɛma wo ho sɛ yɛkaa sɛ Nana Kwame bedi ako ne 12 pillar to economic freedom no policies na ɔde bɛgu hɔnom no ho wayɛ ɛde agu ɛdan mu awie ne aka ne sɛ Ghana for yɛbɛma no kwan na oyi freedom a na ɔde abɛto hɔnom sɛ bam oyi a na ɔde abɛto hɔnom sɛ bam no ɛyɛ nɔkorɛ because imagine sɛ obi a wakɔ 276 store wei emu kasa ɛne adeɛ ɔbaayɛ no energy no me Nana Kwame bedi akɔ minim ne energy a ɔde address no ɛwɔ form nanso wohwɛ sɛnea osi ɛma point by point by point or kyerɛ wo or identify problem no a okohu yɛn not the solution aba bisa ho sɛ nti ɔkɔɔtɔ ne wie no ɛmre bɛn no de bɛtena ase kora ɛde yɛ saa research wi ɛno ne ka bibi kyerɛ wo sɛ ɔno ankasa research na ankasa no wayɛ wie dada wapra ne bibi aguo because ne man no hu ne ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ ɔman nim ɔdo akɔ identify ebi aka ho then already na because when you enter aka the little solution or the back na ideas no so yede efru nti emra so say o say ye ma ye nua the opportunity no ni ye jai science munum say ye to ma na onwini nti ye ntoma no ye mu bebre na nim say ne ode ba ne ye ense ye se da bi oba ye ncheye ye se da bi oba ye encheye eno ne ade a ha adwen o my Ghana mom ye sesan ya adwen mom ye nkoso ne ye ncheche ye nuanom debi ameka ya hefo na motete ho na dredging ya wo kan ukromfo edi different no ye nka se memfa ne se ebi a eya igbefo na edi different wa ye kasa igbefo a eka mo akonwa no saa na santifo a eka mo nti mo ahemfo na mututu kwan ekohu ne wo nkofo nkuro so no mo so mo nka ho asa mo mbɔ wo dawro nkyere mo nkofo mo ahenkwa mo ho awanfo no mo nka nhyɛ mo na mo so mo study to baby mo extend ko bia na mo hu se nsem se na ye possible nti mo njai se mo di a different no ne ma oman no fa ne ntoma pa emfira
in water. We have no choice but to purify it because our second pillar in this country is to connect all the waters and make it build a water transportation to connect the regions and unify us in doing business. 200 tons of gold as reserves, still not enough. The Galamsey Manifesto has a plan to build our own upscale mining, which is more upstream mining, mid-scale, colluvial mining, and then low-scale mining. But whatever water that is being purified is going into that ground that you just saw before this picture of colluvial mining. This farming, you need to put those pipes onto the ground, the pipelines, to create that. So there will be a whole circulation of manufacturing chain order. You are looking at a new Ghana being transformed through this. Now I want to talk a little bit more about this opportunity of the Galamsey being turned into an industrial hub within the regions. What I saw in a lot of places in Ashanti region, there was almost every 2-3 miles there was a valley with water that is poisoned and people in the water sort of washing the water with poison. So this is some kind of issue that it will be so difficult to resolve it if we don't give back to society. This plant is going to create jobs for the same people who were doing Galamsey. They will probably be paid more than they were receiving from chasing the gold crumbs. Purification, which is going to be 4.5 billion, would also create tens of thousands of jobs within the nation itself. So it's not like the 4.5 billion is going out of the country. The 4.5 billion would be payment that will go back onto Ghanaians as workers, whilst we turn that into billions of dollars. You saw it yourself, 32.1. As such, other ideas around this gold industry, I like to say that the imperialists, who are companies like, or imperialists who support companies like Ashanti Goldfields. You might never know who the owner is because it says Ashanti Goldfields or Goldfields or many other fields. They all amount to trillions of dollars when you go back just 40 years, 4 decades. In 8 to 9 regions, this amount of wealth has been extracted. We decided to do a bit of research and not investigate them, but it's public information to find out more. That how are these people surviving and investing in our country and digging a hole, cracking a mountain, taking all the gold out and not even covering it? I'm sure you saw it in my presentation for the Galamsey Part 2 video. Who is sponsoring them? I realize that most of these companies are also getting funds from financial institutions like IMF. My vision, my mission is to write off our debt with IMF, because we don't need to owe them, but we can simply have, and not to say that we don't want any foreigner to also mine here, but we just don't want any foreigner to extract from here, and we don't get the skill set. That's why we're still washing our waters with sand, looking for gold crumbs. Why the top people, they go straight to the rock, determine where the gold is, put the machines up, cut, and take the value out straight away. When we try to get value, we destroy the whole country. This tells me that we don't have the skill set, and our mindset for creating wealth is still slavery. You can see it there, because we are digging the soil and washing it with our hands. They are using machines to excavate, to crack into our stones. I stand here today because industrialization is the only way out for us as a nation to build ourselves. If we don't put this in place, and I don't just have to be president to do that, but I'm already on a mission to make sure that this is accomplished for Ghana and for the rest of African countries. We live by machines. We wake up in the morning and I iron our clothes with machines. We are on the phone, it's a machine. We drive to work, it's a machine. None of these machines that we can build, and none of these machines that we are using. Over the tour in the 276, I realized that the most markets were on the roadside, and the most businesses were in the bush, where someone is excavating or moving the earth and extracting the wealth that we go back to either the IMFs or the World Bank to borrow for our economy. Well, Ghana, I'd like to say this to you before I come to an end with my closing remarks, that we cannot borrow money. We cannot borrow money and fix our lands with it and pay our workers with it. We can only create wealth from what we have, from what belongs to us.
In some say, Nana Kwambidi ako ka omonti ase. Utumi ni obi di nkomo se ai ena eyi se okani si anaye si ebetwa ye sika de a ene abrofo entumi emwaye. Forgetting say ya nkasa ye betumi aye amana ye yie. Saa semwe Nana Kwambidi ako ka Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah ekaye a okoye yenya leader bia ema ne meka asasem we bi until say Nana Kwambidi ako unity a oka sa ensem we bi even omampanyin Lawrence Okra at a point no na oka cha abofo no kra say e wo se ambe support ye e wo niam bi ni ade mu see Nana Kwambidi ako se enye se oka se e bia enise yenya foreigners a omobeba be mining ewe ya science so anase eyo nemum enkoba se debia no ombe extract eko even oma extract gold afrio extract a yeni experience bia ebetumi ede afa machine na yeso kwa yetumi ede aye ade ni bi aye amana yeye omo abeni abebia no aba ne se angrogo gold ne gold face ne wan ma medi kan eka ye na omo mining then omo mining na no omo de akọ and investigation and I say research a course ni na chere say IMF sa International Monetary Bank here omo na de bia na omo de bo say abayi omo na sponsor sa mining sector si emom be strategy agudie no edeko na abani abrebe ayeye da so eti yehia emu nti na kwa mbedi akwa no na niswade hunu mo no to cut we mu short no owo aniswade hunu ne enhyehyɛ a ode agu kwan mu a yɛde ebetua IMF eka straight forward a yɛnde omoka na no no bɛboa ama yan kasa no yatumi ayeden ya ye adwuma ama na ye kra behwe nti ene wo ba as investor nti wo ba ye no ebeye negotiation enko sa wo ba wo se me de wo ka nti ene wade we ni sei ena me pɛ no enye sa ena wo se ekɔ no eno enso ene ade an na kwam bedi ako eka na wei ena ka wo se ye expect say leaders asole agina omo ba bepe amanyoku no ebetumi akasa ensem wa mion wo se dabi sanipa wei ewo botai bi esinani so oba ba ye bibi ede amaye ama oman no atumi ade ne ho na enye enkokɔ ene toilet ene bibia free na omokeka eho asam ede ekire ye no ni nyina ne se bosi ankasa no we sa wo ye obi a wo ye no kwekafo a wo bosia ye bosia ede je adwuma ema adwuma ne koso na emom ye nje bosia emfa ntuaka te se ne oman ya yetimu a even workers kra ne yentumi ntua omoka eduru ba bi a gese ye koje bosia na de atua workers no eka ebede na oman no atumi atumpon enti Ghana foi this is the time e wo say ye bomode ani asisembre de bi America show MPP NDC no akoye te se oba wo oba wo se makowale ya amansa ye kan se kwakumanu me kofa kwakumanu ma hu se kwakumanu enye ana me koye na me kofa akwabna boaten me fa akwabna boaten a kwabna boaten enye enti de biem na wo ye e wo sa okope ekwasi buadi enso wanye sa o sori ya na wo san kwakumanu no wasan akotena kwakumanu nchen abe 4 years osi kwakumanu nye no wasan akokwa kwabna boaten ho no mu biem ebasa na obi otinche bia be ka cho se wadwen enye adwuma nti sa so na ya akoye se oman Ghana ya adwen no emfanshen we kra kan obi na ye statistics ye se oman Ghana the whole world oman Ghana can grow omadwen enye adwuma no ye to so 8 na me dia ya na me kan me se ye hwe na ye kwaso yi a 8 no kra na omo consider because of osagefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah nti na kwa mbedi akọ nsem o se before say ode ni closing remark no ebeba no yentie ne ewo ho no ye wi afi ye bie phone lines no e de atum na obi bia so awo na adventure no na wa kire metro so obe like na afi we invite afoforo ama omo aba abeka ho enche be bie phone lines no na oso wa bambi na wa kire wa adwen
from what we have, from what belongs to us. And if we're able to turn it around, then we'll be in control of our wealth for the rest of our lives. Our children will adapt from it. They will learn from it. They will come with more skills, and there will be more intel to expand our vision. I have a vision, and I see Ghana being transformed to the likes of Dubai, America, and most of these Western countries that our children are running to. Just to stop them from running away, because they don't come back anymore. And I don't see why we should harness and invest in our children, educate them, and somebody imports the talents from us whilst we export the goods which they took the raw materials from us. It's a reverse cycle. And for that reason, the new force have come to give a fair share of our equity, a fair treatment of equality, and a fair way of treating building nation empowerment. I'd like to say thank you very much. In closing my...
Nti abushia wohu obia oye visionary leader obia owo eniswade hunu ko biscuit say he has nothing to offer. Me ba cho wan asem na wo kan oba make comment na no make ni ya me ho wan na oni bibia to offer no say na na kwam bedi akọ na wa kan so de na eyewo ankasa ogigirigi say wa wotena ase na wo dwen inkofo we nsam kra omoka na utie na kwam bedi akọ de na so he has nothing to offer there eyewo awasem nti abushia as a visionary leader obi promote say ono no oba because say oni bibia e de ma wonti no or say Ghana card ube to me the 2 kwan basa mi wan so kwa o de Cote d'Ivoire ha ya mpo a o de wa ube hu pepe for me ankasa me wo ho experience me ni madam for ba kokko bi ekọ Burkina Faso na ye ba ya ye ntehwe ono no kuta passport na me kuta Ghana card ye ho fa efa ye no wo hu o promote so ba Ghana card e betumi de 2 kwan ba na kwa me bedi ako ani so ade hunu ni vision mabunu kra 2 kwan ekọ nyina ya ade a eha no enti as a leader oba obe make sure say enyuma ewo ho no ma endom mabunu no konkra so ombetu kwan akonkofo kuro so hwenkofo enam desert so na ekọ akowu enra na ohini David eyi video bi a o hwe desert so this December ya o a mo cha fa desert so e dangerous no hwe pick up a esan so na amanfo etu kwan akọ enkofo kuro so asefem kra keke asefem keke and as a visionary leader enkofo etu kwan kra ehano and Ghana mabunu ebo talent ahodo ko obuase senior ha almost school year e wo hoi omo na omaye sa ballot paper box ya anka betumi aboa ama yatumi atete ye kan sen sa abatuo mu kronogbo esui obia ancheke sa nkore ya so invite ye kan sen dialysis machine eno so obia emfie omo ba omo yare a na omo aso omo akogu nkofo kuru so ena ekoso omo ho yale na me bompa ye se sa nkofo ya politicians say dey be omo ya na omo fa print omo nkofo kuru si dey be a print enku omo mu e wo kwan so ne ensan amfa omo mla na be mo de esua nyansa Ibrahim Traore ye ya na o se da bi se me kuro man for ye ni ahode bebre kra na e ba ne se quality healthcare de e wo se yenya nti watumi akra mfidie ni bi de frɛ obi kuro so e de aba se enkora wei a e wo hai epie ba bi te se Burkina Faso na Ibrahim Traore ayi ni ti a anko be invest wo sa enkwala wei mu ama enkwala no atumi e de bibi papa ayede e de abre oman no na omatumi ayom technology because ono even kwa wode ne enkwala no bi ekọ Russia e de binum konkura ahodo na wo ba as investor te say country te say ne na kwa mbedi akọ eken anka omo be ye mining ni kura no omo ntumi mfa ye enkwala no bi entrain omo no omo so omo ntumi enye world trainer e ba ne say mining na etumi mining na nka miner etumi enya ne de na so yenya leader owo sa eniso ade hunu no bi ade omo busua enkwa na emodwe omo ho intina na kwa mbedi akọ because onim say youth na nkasa no ene betumi aboa ema oman no mpunto akoso enu nti na kwasi broni emfa akwara endi agro a abrebia no omo training enkwala no because omo ne oman no eda ache nti akwantu broni akwara etu kwan a ebia na okosua bibi afrisa kuro ne so na wade aba ne kurum ba ye ye be ediketi ya ho ye sua book homa ma akase nyina no ye wi ana de akotena nkofo kurum e de asoma omo ye soma omo yi a ne ya jegus no ho no ma de ama omo na omo ankasa san e de aba abeton e de amaye yentie na kwa mbedi akokrosin remark no na efe yembie line ntum na obi anso enchere na adwen.
In closing my address tonight, I want to take this opportunity to thank you all for your time. I thank you for the young people who supported me in my 276 constituency tour, the mothers, also some old people, and fathers, grandmothers. I was surprised. Genuinely, Ghanaians are good people. It's rather unfortunate that partisans or politicians have failed us. Our expectation of development is undermined by our own capacity and abilities. I'd like to say thank you to the regional coordinators too. The constituency executives, the electoral area comrades. It is now time to protect what we've worked for. We've worked so hard as a new force and as the new generational leaders. I would like to urge all of you to go out and vote peacefully. And after voting, Ghana as a nation, let's protect our ballot. Let's be reasonable, for this country is in shambles. Our economy is facing problems. Our currency is facing crisis. Our waters are polluted. The last thing we have left It's our democratic constitution to govern the nation. And I'm urging the nation for us to do this peacefully so we can move forward and build our country and make it a better place and make Ghana great again. Thank you.
Nti abushia na kwambe di akọ ede na no nsam enyina aba na wieye na ne oka ne se Ghana mabunu a yemu bi atu ya ho asi wonom ya ye de yesika ene amanfo support ede eboa no ewo campaign mu afre mamefo ene papafo na ohun se eba ne se Ghana ye ni papa ampanso Ghana utukwan na okodru krobi eso a found say one take us ewom se nipa bonefo wo de but the majority of Ghanaians no nipa papa se ne ebesi age wa atum me kai me first time ewo no gokpo me dey say da bia me ka chawo nte nya afi na me be siesie nema me first time ewo no gokpo won me nte ho kasa na ma me a medika ekosi ne so se ne osi age me awa atum na akole ye ka bi pa etwi akole ni muko na ho nchena mpa ede maame echromo se odo ankasa a ewo Ghana fo mu no eso but yama politicians and I ban say religious differences and ede sa empapa mu no eba ye mu and so still sa odo na ankasa ahohoye do no se mahuminu abibini menje no awa atum na timpon a ode bae ommeye na onko asundwie no eda so ewo honom eno ena nana kwambi dia ka say upon the bad things no ko hu yin or experiences are eniama no so ewo honum nti odagana fo nyina ase nemom dwumadie kase a yadi no mumma dwumadie no a yadi no enye kwa nti afe no abato no a yekoto ya se ye niama hodo nyina de ne aka ene ye democracy a ye bebo eho ban na asumdwe nti ukoto aba na enye ntokwa enye basabasaye enye kasatia koto aba gentle yeto aba ni wie na se ebo ebi abe 4 a nso betumi akwa gina ho no na ne kan no ekoso a na wahwe bi ohu bibia na utumi address ewo Ghana mramu ema ho kwan se ye kan a woye pulling agent wonye pulling agent ne ontumi nkoye se onkosan ne ye kan dia ontumi fe wani ebe na akase ti se media bi na wohwe na ohu bibi na enkoyi a na wa address sa issue no ti eno ene ade anana kwambe di akọ ede eto edwa nti abusia ene baby adri te se ne medika ka chiro na first time a ye try into no ye baby phone lines no ede atum na obibia no a opese ofre na ono so o kire na adwen ebia wo afutuo wo experience bi anasa abato on bibia opese wo kan fa ho bia no akonya ewom but meso so ebia wo fra obema okasa no so aye ntiti ase ne be ya onuanom so ebetumi afrebi nti number no eye plus 233 54 330 4976 nti also obetumi afre na wachre wadwen ewo honom sense bia se number ne ya me honom me type number ne de sense bia se number ne ya me honom me type number ne de sense bia se number ne ya me honom me type number ne de sense bia se number ne ya me honom me type number ne de sense bia se number ne ya me honom ti abusia ubetumi afre na oso wa kire wadwen hello hello
ya nganya awasi
ayo
apa kanian
edan kama version na do de ne
dan kama da yado ya da ko pare na ke ejuma ne die
Ai juman boko yu gwazore.
Edanya me ase ke bala bu yedi ma ya wonulu bobo nulu baba maye. Mo no ala ke. Ajo kamo ala mama ngachi, mama ngachi no
Ai ka twi
ayo
na.
bi adibie. Obo mba. Mama ngachi ba te obo mlambo mo wa so we mo te mama mo wa mi amba ma ba ko de.
Okay,
But
okay.
ma mi amba e ba ha twi o de.
Okay, okay. Abusia mo fa nche ne enua no ofre na ne refi se ye twi nti na wo kanzema. Nti abusia wo so betumi afre na waba line ne so ebi +233 54330496 so so betumi afre na adwenkyere bi a wo no o de atudwa. Me type in number no so still emba yo. Me type in number no de say dia say number Abusia number no ye +233 54330496 nti wo so betumi afre na o de wadwenkyere e de aba. Okay, nti se ene ebi akọ bia enya emma idea na yemfa ana kwa mbidi akonnwom ba komienu bi emfa mfa mu na se call bi ba na yare se call bi nso amma na edi dwumadie no e de esi. My Emmanuel go say I can see that even most of we the youth don't have thinking portion in their head because I was talking to some of them yesterday and they were telling me free SHS and overpass. And the free SHS in there, we are modi we are for no, bebre kwa, especially I am a man no na omonte niema bi ase. Sa free SHS we no. Ti abusia nso betumi afre na waba line ne so. +233 54330496 and I say bi awo Ghana na opese ofre normal call so 054330496 say bi awo Ghana na opese ofre normal call so 054330496.
The new force, the Laswaba.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, Enotina.
Yeah,
Pachapo mute say.
hello. Yeah, we are done now, sir.
About the another room.
Yeah, that was
Hmm.
still now in two town.
Me pacho yeah live program into say. We are be to
That
me.
doesn't
Yeah live program say obechra wadwen aye wi ana yakasa.
mean to my day.
And yeah live program.
And so, I mean, what baby, the car will hold it.
Oh, okay.
It's a very disturbance.
Okay. And then obey to me as after program no mefro.
But also,
Me say after program no na mafro.
but okay, yo, thank you, guys.
All right, welcome. I was jamming back on sound in that bar.
The new force in the swabber.
If I just sound in that bar.
Yeah, oh, they rooster. Osajifu, Nana Kwame Bediako, Rebeji, Ghana. I'm a Jima Fawood.
Obey to me after now. Watch red wadwin. I obey to me after and watch red wadwin. Message be a war at the map break and obey to me after now also watch red wadwin at the afa home.
Economic refugees, force, in the Saba.
And then so now we special voting, you know, after that, an information I in a beggar than the post at the amount.
Africa, economic refugees spread all over.
Aha, Malay live program, but I have another quick reward.
Refugees spread all over. And outside of crime, I saw you. I swear it's already a corner when you Ghana and Africa.
The new force, the less The new force, the less
Hello, Mr. Prince Aka.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, more about ODIASEMPA TV.
Yes, sir.
You didn't come off about to by special fire you near Berman and Aquam Bedia I want to know. Be a wide venture and as a foot to be at the ma I refer to you.
Yo, me da wase michia wati efo ina weye aka TV USA na eka say. Nyemnim pe for nukodi ene yafam. Nyema me ka sa ne say ayese sika atoye yadwen sika atoye yabrabo. Nti ade bia abeye sika. Nti Ghana obi kura mo sika kakra bia na okokuku nipa. Oh, Nana Kwame no yobi a onyame no ayi no ama Ghana ewa afie we mu. Na me hu se Ghana fo sikasem ne abronti no omo kogije nkukọ ne sika na omo atwa ma omo aba omo nya hwe. What you say? Na nke minim say this is the time wa esese Ghana fo ye change. Na yede Nana Kwame ede ne ba also be ye give it to more. Your money 4 years. 4 years in so that's what me and ya. Na ye na sinchen. Oh, na Ghana for na abrontino e ya dia ombekwa kwaji diskan kitin.
Line no akate no we nya san ya for see abusia ye ka leadership asem no yentie we Saudi Arabia ibisa omonipa baako about nientia omutumpon ne ti asem o kan.
Guys, do you remember this video?
Yeah, listen to this. Nigeria has oil before than Dubai. It's a history. They are more rich than us. They have agriculture, they have mining, they have everything, you name it, they have it. Am I right or wrong? When you have a true leadership, which we have nothing, but we have everything because we have the right leadership. That's the only thing you need, a right leader for your country, not corruption.
I'm sure you all remember this
What ye? Adia we here, the right leader, nemum, and corruption into omono. Omu nishi na so no omu wo bibia because omu wo the right leader. Asam no de ni nyina na waka no. Sa pepepe. Nti abusia ye twa mo ko. All right, Mr. Aka. Wala ne ka te wase aba obetumi ato aso amaye.
Na me kan say. Ghana for na abrontino, abroni bayintino. Enya dia omo adwin se omo pensisa o Ghana dia esese omo pensisa dia esese omo de na kwame edene ba what you say esese omo de na kwame edene ba na obe president na obe bua Ghana na me won se afi wo mu de ye ka president nyame yi no a na ye na kwame na amanfo bi di nkukọ bi achi akokodi telephone bi achi akogi sika $1 bi no mo ato ma baomi anase mahama anani asema wo no etimode ni aburo ni adeboni ntino omunye omo agin so maye saman no that is the right time so I say to me dey asesa Ghana what you say
Enti wo ama no ne no enkraben na odima abusiafo because abusiafo bebre na ka se afiwe abatwe se wo wan koto abapa na obekwakoto ababo ne na obefre obi o wa ma no ne so oma oska no onika prekra ode ma o oka saafo no ho anasa wo de abusiafo no ma nto abapa kra na so mfra
makache mabusiafo me mama me sisters omo nyina se omo de temi omo to omo ba edima NDC makache omo sa fi wo ye me mama wo ye me nua wo ye me wo fase amenya me se me to me sa me sa da so me ti me bo kakra no so wan to ba amfa ma nana kwame na se nana kwame no enwini ameye president a ene wa pa odwuma ye mempipi mpa adwuma ma wo wo ye me mama a mempipi ma no ska every month bia because me pe ade papa na ama wo ye pensi san se any opportunity a ye betimi abeto aba ne bia mo wo Ghana na ese mo ide mo ku ema yen maka kire mo
yo da se pa se also wa frena wa kire wa dwen
ana me da wase me chia wati afu na nyame nhira mo na mo fast me nto aba no ne NDC for MPP for de ntokwa ne ede eba no obi anya abotire oto aba wi akotere ofie na ye bompa ese na nakwame no ekwan bia so no se nyame ebeka Ghana fa kuma na obema adwen change na no ma change na abofo kwa be free soro abeto aba ma na nakwame why
ciao
ciao bye bye
bye obade nka all right abusia Mr. Aka ena yete nka no o USA Virginia ono so eyisu Aka TV USA
Ghana, let us vote for a change. Let us all vote massively for Nana Kwame Bediako. Shut up. The new force is number 12 on the ballot paper. Freedom is coming.
Abusianyum we si na ya nya kwala bia bia mu a ya de life no ebesi na amrepam no asan aba life no aso bio.
Kana we mutaba no machada sada. Mo mesisa kana shopre mayen na ye re.
Ntia fe na waba so ya wie dwumadie no wo so betumi afre na wa kire wa adwen.
Kana we mutaba no new boss. Kana we mutaba no
Your WhatsApp line number ne +233 54 330 4976. So so betumi afre na wa kire wa adwen.
Onyakupa mama brokra amadane onyakupa mama tege bebre o mama japa je bebre se me famo me bra nanso ye prisru beti bayira ho mama no ama bayira ba kese kura oh monrai ama yo kura brokro mi elu bi wo manyimu Omadi minyasa, watamenisa, amama brava say, amaura wakamyo. Enuti mi yodi fwo, waji fwo de weni, wami pedi akwe, rabe jimyo, wamye, rabe jimyo, the new voice, rabe jimyo, sada. This is sama braba yo na mebre amagana onyakupa mama propra amagane onyakupa mama tedie bebre o mami damo o mami timba o mami gold o mami bauxite afebra all the oil so I come home and so still mebre oh Obi imagine yo, what you want you money, only come in bedi ako. The new boss, rabajim yo, this is some problem mam yo, na me pre. Kana po muto banuma come in bedi ako. Kana po muto banuma the new boss. Kana po muto banuma sada. Mama sisa kana shepre mayen na ye re. Kana kwa muto bana mami bedi ako. Kana kwa muto bana mante new boss. Kana kwa muto bana sada. Mama sisa kana shepre mayen na ye re. Mutaba no manua baba mama bedi akwe oba bedi akwa maye under number 12 pillars for economic freedom
Imase senior, I'm still wondering upon all this hard system. People are still following them, saying vote for NKB is going to be a waste vote. If our parents don't support us in this, they should not blame us. Yeah, and the no crepa na o minor yetimono Emmanuel amwakwo good work me da say. Wo so betumi afre na waba mu aba kire wadwen. Number no +233 54330497 so so betumi afre na wa kire wadwen. Na media me say ye to abakra na yanto amana na kwa media kwa me obi bizam say president no am say na kwa media freedom inti anyom no for the last time na yemfa dwumadie no emra wa pesa oba line so no betumi aba +233 54330497 and as our Ghana now pesa friend no ma call so 054 3304976.
Let us all put Masakana separate my yank, Sakana separate my yank. Naye bread. Amagana, Onyakupa, Mama Brokra. Amagane, Onyakupa, Mama Taggy.
Onyankopon de wa moya abro nso de bia yetuetua na so.
If I'm on me bra, now so. Ye free Robert Bayra Huma Mono.
Ye free Robert Bayra Huma Mono, ama Bayra Mokasi kra.
Oh. One guy, among your crop from your new man. Omadi minyasa, wata menisa. Amama proud one say, Amaura welcome you. And you see me here before. What you want the wedding? Mami pedi akwe, rabe Jim yo. Mami rabe Jim yo. The new boss, rabe Jim yo.
Ambedi akode wa ba o akasa ya nkasa ya basum.
Bese sama praba mami yo. Na me bre. Amagana onyakupa mama propra. Amagane onyakupa mama tede bebre. O mami diamond, o mami timber, o mami gold, o mami bauxite. Afrebra all the oil so I come home.
Was signed oil a famous so.
Me bre. Oh, obi imagine yo. Obi imagine yo. What you want you money? Only Kwame Bediako. The new boss. Rabbe Jim yo. This is some problem mam yo. Na me bre. Gonna for muto banuma Kwame Bediako. Gonna for muto banuma the new boss. Gonna for muto banuma sada. Mama sister kana shepre mayen. Na yere bre. Kana for muto banuma Kwame Bediako. Kana for muto banuma the new boss. Kana for muto banuma sada. No message kana shepre mayen. Mutu abanu manua, mama beja kwe, oba beja kwa maye, order number 12, 12 pillars for economic freedom. Rantebe metumaye, emaba wansu benyetumaye, mama beja kuyo bebunu, eluti oba mama guru nyina, oba mapeni po nyina, order number 12, Rawuba kotu abanua, when you run number 12, Ambedi akuna dawe, Oje tuma beba mumanya biaye, Sika beba mumanya biaye shebufoto, Oje tuma beba, Sika beba, Oje tuma beba mumanya biaye, Sika beba mumanya biaye shebufoto, Tuma beba mumanya biaye, Sika beba mumanya biaye shebufoto. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Freedom, freedom, freedom.
All right, Abusia. MCC Afrofo bia any wanti. Aha na di dwumadie no. Ebesi ebo Ghana ha 10 so a yebesan aba live na ye the special voting no ho announcement ni ekwaye ni eba ye nyina e de abro sisi a ODIASEMPA network no de enye de na ye boye ho modern se ebenya Starlink ibi ye nuanum bi eguso a omodi hu dwuma e de amaye nti this time around ye be koso na network ni stable kakra bia within 1 hour bia na ya call live na ya cheche ya hwen na afie nso ho akonya nso ewo ho no mo a oso ubetumi afre na oso wachire wadwen meda obibia a oba ebe supporto ye no ase say maka ho na ama channel abedu baby ye dru. In fact channel ye actually ho ewo yaye kasam ne de ete enyama ahodo be and ebedrum rebi no ko ye bezu invite ye nuanum ne bi se bia eye aigbe enzema frafra twi ni nyina no yenya obibia na opportunity no ewo mu a yebema na kwanya no na ono so enkra anase education a ye de ema no ebetumi ato bi de amane omo ewo honum nti makra obibia mo amo be support me nyina so medamo ase imano amuakon ima edine de ayana ne bo no de me do bibia ase ye besan ehia bi bye bye.